Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to see about the relationship between Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor. Was she a true friend of Michael? That's what we're going to see for today. And if you ask me, in my opinion, I would definitely say yes. She was a true friend of Michael for most part of her life. She herself said, "I am the only one who hasn't betrayed him." Michael had known Elizabeth Taylor since 1982, and in 1984 he invited her to one of his Victory Tour concerts in Los Angeles, but unfortunately the box he arranged for her had bad sightlines, so she left. Later Michael called her to ask forgiveness, and from then they bonded immediately. In fact, the media also mocked their friendship because of their huge age difference. She was at least 27 years older than him. But however, they did have a lot of things in common. They both were child stars, they both had abusive fathers, they both had rotten childhood, they both loved animals and battled similar kind of addictions to painkillers, and they both were huge humanitarians. Michael became a star at the age of 8 in the Jackson fight, but his father Joseph Jackson used to beat him so badly that he was scared for his entire life. Elizabeth Taylor became a star at the age of 12 when she first acted in the film National Velvet. Despite of her father being drunk and he used to batter her around, something she rarely spoke about. Michael brought out the mothering side in Elizabeth Taylor. She was a mother figure to him. They also bonded over children, loved toys, games and cartoons. Michael described Elizabeth Taylor as playful, youthful, happy, and finds a way to laugh and giggle even when she is sad. Michael used to tell her how he coped with racism, and she used to tell him how to deal with fame. The other thing that bonded them were their physical problems. Michael had burns from his 1986 Pepsi commercial accident which left him in agony. He also had vitiligo that caused his skin to whiten. Elizabeth Taylor suffered from hip and back pain from years. During the early years of their friendship, Michael moved out of his parents' house in Encino in 1987, and in 1988 he bought his Neverland Ranch. The sprawling property had a huge number of guest rooms, including Elizabeth Taylor's suite, which had an enormous king-size bed. Michael asked the painters to paint the suite in velvet like Elizabeth Taylor's eyes. However, the painters couldn't get the right color, and he named that suite after her. Elizabeth Taylor spent a lot of her time in Neverland Ranch. She used to spend her afternoons with Michael watching Walt Disney films, going to theme park and playing with the animals at Neverland. She was the embodiment of Hollywood history, and she would tell Michael stories about Hollywood stars like James Dean and Rock Hudson, which fascinated him. Her career, however, was in decline while Michael was in his prime. He was the perfect escort. In 1991, Michael hosted a wedding to construction worker Larry Fortensky, and he paid her $1.5 million wedding bill, and he gave her away to the groom. Later, as a kind gesture, Elizabeth Taylor thanked Michael by sending him an elephant called Gypsy, which she had shipped in from Asia for his menagerie zoo. Michael responded with his own gift, a huge wall-sized tapestry of Elizabeth Taylor's face. The exchanges went on for years, and they slipped into a routine where they would go and watch a film together on Thursdays. Sometimes they stayed at Neverland, and at other times they went out in disguise. They were nearly neighbors, and they both had homes at Bel Air and Beverly Hills, neighborhood of Los Angeles, and Michael used to invite her over for egg sandwiches in the afternoon. In 1997, Michael presented her with a song that he wrote for her called Elizabeth, I Love You, and he performed that in her 65th birthday celebration. Previously, Elizabeth Taylor had nicknamed Michael as the King of Pop, Rock and Soul when she presented him the Soul Train Heritage Award in 1989. She said, "In my estimation, he is the true King of Pop, Rock and Soul." She also defended that compliment in 1993 Oprah Winfrey Worldwide interview, saying that Michael is the least weird person she had ever known. So from all of this, we can clearly see they had a very strong bond. Not only these, there are many other incidents to prove their true friendship. Elizabeth Taylor gave Michael Jackson his first Christmas in 1993. Being raised a Jehovah's Witness, he had never celebrated it. and both in 1993 and 2005, when Michael was facing allegations of child molestation, she publicly and adamantly defended him. She was one of the loudest voices who came to defend Michael. She flew into Singapore the first time to help him, and in 2005 she went on an attack on his behalf. She said, "I believe Michael is absolutely innocent and that he will be vindicated." She also said that she spent most of her time in Neverland Ranch and that there was nothing abnormal about Michael's relationship with children. She calls Michael the most purest giving love she had ever known. So Elizabeth Taylor stood by Michael during his most difficult times. And also in 1993, she staged an intervention along with Michael's family to get him off his addictions to painkillers and prescription pills. When asked about Elizabeth Taylor, Michael Jackson once said, "I can confide in her and trust in her. In my business, you can't trust anyone because you don't know who is your friend. Because you're so popular and there are so many people around you and you're isolated too. Becoming successful means you become a prison." Elizabeth Taylor is also like a mother, and more than that, she is a friend. She is Mother Teresa, she is Princess Diana, the Queen of England, and Wendy Peter Pan's soulmate. In the 80s and 90s, Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor were extremely close. Michael showered Elizabeth Taylor with expensive jewelries, diamond necklaces, diamond rings, diamond earrings, ruby encrusted watches, and he made gigantic donations for her AIDS foundation. In 1990, when Michael was hospitalized for his chest pain due to the pressure of his dangerous world tour, he didn't want to see any of his family members, but he was over the moon when Elizabeth Taylor showed up. His parents and siblings were so offended and hurt by this, and they went on for a therapy, and they complained that Michael preferred Elizabeth Taylor's company instead of theirs, and the therapist told them to get over it and move on because in Michael's mind Elizabeth was his mother. Michael's mom, Catherine Jackson, did not approve her son's friendship with Elizabeth Taylor, and also once she complained that Elizabeth stole my child. Michael even bailed on dinner plans with Diana Ross for Elizabeth Taylor's sake. Though he had made plans with Diana first, later when Elizabeth Taylor called him, he tried to combine the dates, but Diana declined as she said divorce don't share their spotlight. Michael Jackson calls Diana Ross his mother, his lover, and his friend in his autobiographical book Moonwalk, and Elizabeth Taylor a true friend. This itself speaks a lot about their true friendship. But unfortunately in 2008, Michael missed her birthday party, and from then he felt a sort of distance with her. She wouldn't talk to him nor accept his calls as she once did, and even earlier he was paying her to attend his functions and speak, or just paying her to sit in the audience. But it was reported that Elizabeth Taylor's health had begun to decline and she was sick for most of the time during the last 2 years of Michael's life. So during the last 2 years of Michael's life, the relationship they once had was not the same. But with all of the other good things that Michael Jackson was, he was also a very forgiving person, and he never spoke ill about Elizabeth Taylor. Only to say that things was not the same between them. And when Elizabeth Taylor heard about Michael Jackson's death, she was completely destroyed, and she wrote in Twitter, "My heart, my mind are broken. I loved Michael with all my soul. I couldn't imagine a life without him. We had so much in common and we had so much fun together. I'm back from the hospital but intact. I'm still grieving for Michael and I always will." That's what she wrote in Twitter when she first heard about Michael's death. And in spite of her frail health, Elizabeth attended Michael's private funeral at Forest Lawn Park on 3rd September 2009. Previously, Elizabeth Taylor had made plans to be buried next to her late husband, Richard Burton, in Switzerland. But however, towards the end of her life, she changed her mind and requested to be buried next to Michael Jackson. 2 years later, they were united in death when Elizabeth Taylor passed away at the age of 79 in 2011. She was buried in Forest Lawn Cemetery, Glendale, California, the same cemetery where Michael Jackson was laid to rest. So in my opinion, if you ask me, was she a true friend of Michael, I would definitely say yes, because she staged an intervention along with Michael's family to get him off his addictions to painkillers, and she was there with him and had his back the whole time he was accused of child molestation. She never turned her back on him. She defended him throughout the child molestation case. Though they were not very close during the last 2 years of Michael's life, I believe she was a true friend of Michael. That's all friends, we're gonna end here. See you all next time with another interesting topic about Michael. Until then, take care, goodbye. And if you want me to talk about anything in particular related to Michael Jackson, please comment down below. Thank you.